Martial arts. Welcome back to Wasenshido Dojo. We are outside in the yard today. Got my wife with me for some partner drills. We are on day 3 of day 7 for our week-long challenge or a week-long starter pack. And we are doing blocking, parry, dodging, evasion. In Japanese, they call it nagare. So grab a partner or just follow along with the movements. So let's get started. She's just gonna be standing in a boxing stance. You guys learned that on day 1. And jabbing and across, but we'll just go with the jab. So right foot forward, there you go. And this is her jab here. She's gonna jab right at my chin, straight in. You don't have to be close enough to where they can actually hit you, but you know, that gets a little more advanced. Or if you just wanna keep it safe and go slow, always start going slow. So 50% speed at the most when you're first starting out. So go ahead and strike at my chin. I'm just gonna do a parry. This is the nagare, which is like a flow. Have it flow past you. Other hand is up. Okay. So here I'm not really stepping or doing anything. I'm just in kind of like a boxing / combat stance. Okay, my center of gravity is a little lower, bending the knees. And go ahead and again. And we're just doing a simple, I'm moving slightly offline with my head and my upper body. So in boxing we call it slip. Slip the punch, other hand is up as well. Okay. You just do this a bunch, just do this over and over again. And now she's gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna step a little bit with both feet. So I'm gonna step with my front and then lead, bring my back foot forward. So come in, I'm gonna check, parry as I'm stepping. So this is triangulation, what we talked about in day 1. And also the stances. So we're just keeping it real simple. So you check, and then you can take the other hand and check as well. So 1, 2, and then you have this hand free. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we're gonna do with the other hand. Same punch as she just was doing, the jab, but we're not gonna use our hands and parry, we're just gonna move our head. So we're gonna go a little closer, she's gonna go real slow, no more than 50% speed. And I'm just gonna slip the punch a little bit. We don't want straight on hitting. We don't want her to hit my chin or here or anything like that. So it's just, sometimes it's just a simple, go ahead again. And then as you get a little more used to it, don't move until the punch starts coming in. Okay? So you can go directly sideways. Now she's a little further away, but you can go directly sideways, or kind of moving forward at an angle like this. Okay. Let's put it all together. So I'm going to, she's gonna punch, I'm gonna step, and block with the left hand here. Step, block. Now, practice that over and over again. So let's do one more with the other hand. So I'm going to do the same thing, but the right hand's gonna come up this time here. So 1, step. You can even just do 1 step and bring that other foot close. Panda watch. Okay, let's switch our stance. So I'm gonna have my right foot forward and hand, she's gonna do a jab with the other side. I'm gonna do the same thing. Actually, start out with just the head. Go straight in my chin. Keep your teeth and your jaw clenched, just lightly, okay? It's always a habit to bring my hand up, but it's good to just know the difference between using your hands and also just, you can just slip it with just moving your head. Now I'm not leaning too much, just a little bit, so I don't put myself off balance or go all the way off the side, because they're gonna come in with another punch, or come in and try to grapple me or wrestle me or whatever it may be. So again, this is just, go ahead and throw a punch. It's just a little bit of a trick to get to understand that it just takes a few inches to get off center, get off the line, and evade the punch. So why would we do that without the hands? So if she goes and punches and I don't use my hands to parry and block and all that kind of stuff, that means I've evaded the attack initially and gives me, before anything else happens where she comes for another punch or moves or grapples, I can slip and come in with my hand right to the face. So again, and you can bring this hand up and block, and then the other hand comes in with a jam to the face, jam or palm heel to the face. Okay. Oh, just like this. And then as you come in, then you can go in for grapples and kick close and do some knees and foot stomps and elbows and rib shots and sweeps and all kinds of other fun stuff. So to recap, we got the jab, just a simple getting out of the way with the head. Then we got the simple parry with the front hand. We got parrying with the rear hand, block or parry, and then nagare, which is the block and flow, or parry and flow. So if she comes in again with a punch, I kind of block, parry, but then I grab and I pull, and then I can come in with my other hand, or I can come in and step and grab and do different things. And then, remember, train both sides, so switching the feet. And then we got, that's all the hand stuff, and then we got also the stepping and stepping with the stance. Now, since I showed that earlier, let's move forward. So just to recap, with the feet, as she comes in with a punch, I'm going to step. Again, this hand can come up for good habits up here, or just go into the face, just as good habit, or come in and grab the clothing here. Stepping with the front foot and bringing the other foot back. So it's triangulating, okay? And when we're parrying, we're not, keep your hands kind of soft. We don't want firm, but not too tense. So we don't want to like have our fingers all tense and pushing and all this kind of stuff like here. You just want to very lightly tap. It just takes a tap to throw the strike or the punch or whatever is coming in off the line of attack. It doesn't take very much, it's just a tap. So it's punch harder, okay? And even if she punches and I come down on it, it might just end up hitting here. She might break her knuckles if she punches hard enough. So let's move on to blocking. If she comes with a punch, a jab, I'm just going to do a more like a karate style block. My hand is going to be open. I'm going to use the outside edge where the bone is, or even the muscle. So my palm is going to be facing me or slightly down, something like this. Palm is facing me or slightly down as I'm going up at an angle, creating a rooftop. So we're here, and I drop my center of gravity, bend my knees, and I'm here. You can kind of already have your hands open and up. This is my more of a self-defense, or hey, I don't want any trouble kind of stance. So, and then so if she punches and my hand goes down because she's a little shorter than me, then it's here. If she's a little taller or bigger, I might come underneath. Can you hear that? Can you hear that playing? So again, when there's no one way to do this, you're just learning techniques to lessen the chance of getting hit, getting struck, and getting hurt. Okay, so hands are up, she comes in, and in this case, she's a little shorter, so I'm pushing down, or I'm coming down on it. And then again, it's a nagare, and I can come with a grab or a parry, and then come to the face, or I can come in close and wrap up. If I'm a little shorter, she's a little, let's say they're more of the same height, she comes in with a punch, I might end up just trying to get under it. And again, it might be a struggle. And then they come in with another punch, and then I go like that and I go over here. So hands are up here, and then before let's say she wants to start throwing a punch, and then I can just come into the face and start pushing her face back. That's jamming the attack. And then that punch is almost no power at that point. So again, blocking on the inside, and also blocking, coming down and block. It's like a strike and a block. It's what we talk about in ninjutsu. And you can come down with a hammer fist or your bone. If you've developed these bones for hard hitting, you can come in and strike their strike. And also up here, you can strike their strike with this forearm bone. Another block slash strike is either a back fist or a hammer fist to the inside of the arm or elbow. It's not necessarily my first go-to action, because unless you're extremely practiced at it, you gotta like think more, oh, I'm gonna strike that, instead of just seeing this as an extension and going towards the body. I'm not worried about this so much, unless you've practiced it over and over and over and over again, and you got that striking accuracy to get inside and onto the inner bicep and that nerve in there and do that. It's not gonna make some big difference. I'd rather focus my energy on either just blocking parry, and just focus on going towards the attack of the body, the face, eyes, neck, or knees, or evading and getting out of there. Pressing, coming in, pressing, pushing back, maybe throwing a knee or strike, stomping on the foot, and then getting out of there. And we're going to the eyes. Again, this is self-defense. I want to make a specific point on evasion and the mentality of evasion. This gets into one of the most important aspects of self-defense, and also self-defense, I should say. Martial arts in self-defense. Because you're dealing with other people, you're dealing with daily life, and the mentality behind keeping yourself safe. So, this is something that I don't think is talked about enough. I don't know, obviously, every single self-defense program out there. So, I don't know who's talking about it or not. I know that some people don't, and it's one of the most important parts of self-defense. So what's your mentality? What's your mentality in daily life? Stay out of confrontation at all costs. Stay out of a situation, a bad situation, at all costs. And it sounds funny to say that, because it's like, well, what do you mean? Just say to yourself to stay out of. So what happens when you start adopting this mentality of stay out of situations and stay out of confrontation as much as possible, it's gonna help keep your ego in check, keep your ego out of picking a fight or egging somebody on, or it's your subconscious judgment or lack of judgment when you're, let's say, drinking or under the influence. A lot of people are under the influence, and specifically alcohol, that will, create some sort of situation, unstable situation, where, there's an attack that happens, or there becomes a self-defense situation, or just a defending yourself situation. And so, start with a mentality so it gets into your subconscious. Stay out of confrontation. Stay out of situations that are dangerous. So then you start making these subconscious and also conscious decisions. Go right instead of left. Don't go down that alley. Go over this way. Oh, I'm walking to my car alone. Maybe it's you're walking to your car in a parking lot or a parking ramp alone, and you think, wait, before I do this, maybe I need one of the security guards to bring me to my car. Maybe I need to have my hand and know where all my self-defense tools are beforehand. So this is all part of evasion, mental evasion. So keeping you evading before it even happens. Choices and decisions you can make before a situation even starts. So mentally prepare yourself for keeping your ego in check. De-escalation. If you're in a verbal dispute with somebody or talking with somebody and the temperature starts going up, you need to be the one that's you can be in charge of the conversation by saying open hands and just maybe stepping back. You don't have to cower and don't take your eyes off the situation, but you can kind of look down, bend the head by still looking, confident. Don't ever lose the confidence. That's also another aspect of self-defense and evading by using confidence. If you're walking with confidence, real confidence, especially women's self-defense, where attackers and perpetrators don't want to go after a confident woman that's just walking, confidently. They go after victims that are not paying attention, that are just like unhappy with themselves and self-conscious and fumbling about and weak-minded, weak constitution. So going back to what I was saying, evasion mentally and emotionally. Keep your ego in check. De-escalate the situation. Open hands. Maybe not that, don't have your hands in their face, but hey, you know, have your hands up. Maybe even ready for something to happen, but just be like, I'm so sorry, you know, be apologetic, but don't cower and don't lose the confidence. Don't bend your head and look down. Don't look away. Keep your eyes forward and on the people, but on the person or people or situation, but maybe even step back and just, you know, I'm so sorry, you know, totally my fault, you know, sorry, man, you know, or act like you're kind of fumbly. Act like you're fumbly and act like you're jolly, and maybe had a few drinks and you're like, oh my God, so sorry. I mean, I looked away there, but use your best judgment. You know, if someone's really aggressive, you don't want to look away. But if it's just like someone kind of half aggressive, half also drinking, or half, you know, just they're just kind of looking for something to happen, you're just like, oh, you know, you got your peripheral vision. Oh, sorry, man, my friend, hey, and then you're like, hey, Jack, hey, John, hey, man, be right there. You know, just pretend that you have friends, that you're like, you're going to do something. These are all things that can de-escalate a situation. And some aggressive guy's like, oh, that guy doesn't want to fuck with me. Oh, well, you didn't, you know, maybe they're subconscious, like, oh, well, they just probably didn't mean it or they didn't care. You know, unless they're really out to attack you and get you. And, you know, again, if they're that aggressive, don't take your eyes off the situation. Hands up, moving back, and just try to not be aggressive with your movements and with your gestures. Body language is very important. I stayed out of a lot of street fights and a lot of confrontation in my life. I never had any issues except for a couple times, and that was unavoidable because it wasn't about me. And there was a whole, you know, small town versus small town, and like 10 versus 20 people, and I was just like trying to get my friends and my people from my small town to calm down, and some people that I knew actually on the other town that I worked with, they were my friends, were kind of keeping their guys at bay, and all of a sudden I look back and my friend's getting thrown down, and I just, you know, I went, and my brain just snapped, and just it's like I saw red, and I ended up blacking out. Actually, my friend told me that I ran up and he saw, and my friend went down, and the guys were kicking him, three or four, at least three. Went up to him. My friend was on the ground. He just saw these guys that were kicking him. There's like two went flying and one ran off. And I picked my friend up, put him on my shoulder, and ran out of there. And then I regained consciousness. Or I regained not consciousness because I was mentally unconscious, but I was able to do all these different activities. So what that's about is that, I mean, that's just a quick story of like one of the only street fights or situations I encountered. And even when I was like, you know, hey, everybody was drinking, everybody was 19, 20 years old, underage. So everybody got in a fight and they all split. So anyways, my friend told me about what happened and I put two and two together and I was just like, wow. When adrenaline goes, whew. So sometimes that'll happen. The training kicks in. And I wasn't even training that much. I didn't even start training too much at the time. I was just kind of intermediate, you know. I mean, I was like a year or two into training. It just was, my mentality is keep my friend safe and use my strength, and the adrenaline kicked in. But that's why we train, so that when something stressful happens, your subconscious takes over. So if you're walking around or if you're drinking, or if you're not thinking straight, or it's just not second nature to you, we want to tell ourselves, safety first. Stay out of confrontation at all possible. Keep your ego in check. If you bump into somebody and somebody bumps into you and they're just looking to fight, try to de-escalate, bring the temperature down. You know, hands up, stepping back, cowering a little bit, but you're not cowering. Your eyes are staying up, and just, you can kind of look away a little bit and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then try to diffuse the situation by doing like they don't even exist. Like going, like I said, call for your friends, or, hey, you want a drink? You know, and you buy the guy a drink or whatever. It's just, you can do that kind of same scenario. You can kind of adapt it to almost anything you're doing. So again, you got to use your judgment and see, is this person really aggressive? Why are they aggressive towards me specifically? You know, you got to ask yourself those questions. When you're walking around at night, and when you're doing your going out and hanging out with friends and going downtown, and just think about these things. Like, is this a safe situation? Is this a safe situation? Do I need to go left or right? What's the best way? Do I need someone to come with me? Make sure I'm not alone in a weird place. Do I know where I'm going? How am I walking? Am I on my phone? Am I looking down while I'm walking around in a place that I don't know, I'm not aware of? How's my posture? Am I walking tall? Am I looking strong, confident, but not aggressive? You know, you don't want to look pompous and aggressive either, like you're looking for something to go on, because then it's might trigger somebody's primeval, oh, this guy thinks he's so tough, or whatever else. Just be normal, walk tall, just keep your breath strong. You're confident, don't have the chin up. You know, you can kind of look down-ish, looking forward and down, but also making sure you're looking around in the distance as well. Everywhere I go, I'm looking around, I'm looking at exits, I'm looking at people, I'm looking at the situation, I'm looking at cars, I'm looking at environmental weapons. You don't want to get too paranoid about it, but just take little bits at a time and just go, oh, look at that. Oh, I see that. That's okay, I can grab that if I wanted to. And just for fun, just be like, ah, there's a shovel right there. Oh, okay. I was at the beach the other day. Boats, lifeguard equipment, a tower, 2 shovels on each lifeguard post. People's picnic stuff, sand and debris, water. This was, I didn't write all this down, so I'm just trying to think and just by memory. I just look at, oh, there's a shed, there's the bathrooms, there's like the lower, like kind of a ranger station, but not the rangers. It was just like the little station for people coming in and where they hung out. So. Anyways, that was a long rant about the mentality behind, you know, self-defense and also evasion. Stay evaded. Let's do some defensive stance. So switching it up a little bit, same thing. She's going to come actually with a rear punch and just kind of step and extend towards my face, just like that. And I'm going to step back and just into defensive stance. So remember what we talked about, if you're standing facing or in a little, maybe a boxing style stance, go ahead and throw. I'm just going to step back at an angle. You can step straight back and just evade it. Go again. And just evade it by stepping and creating more distance. But we don't really teach that way specifically. So we almost always triangulating. Whether it's triangulating back or triangulating forward and coming closer to getting out of the way and coming closer to the attack. So again, go ahead and throw. Can you just do a little kick? Yep. And again, a lot of times like any kind of kick or a thrust kick or whatever. So if you, yep. So just, you know, they could throw a punch, they could kick. If you have your partner, whatever's coming straight in at you, maybe they can get a little a stick or a staff or some sort of boken or wooden sword and just coming straight in and just, you know, you're just stepping at an angle and you're checking it, a check or a parry. So you're just tapping it. Same thing other side, so come out with a longer punch, you know, here. And you're just checking the situation. Maybe okay, so throw the punch, and then step in and step in again. Maybe they keep coming, and then maybe then I go and do like a triangulate the other way. So come in with a rear punch here. So I'm here, and then come with another punch, and then I switch my stance and I come to the other side. So that's defensive stance, and just checking kind of like a middle check. Little lower is fine too, and you can also come with an upper block. So there's defensive upper. So if you want to have your partner mimic something coming straight down like this or at an angle, you can just open your hand and just kind of, so stepping in and like kind of chopping the top of your head, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put my hand up here as I step back, and then you can go into like the offensive stuff, stepping in, grappling, kumooch, getting in close and grappling. So there's defensive stance, blocking high, blocking or parrying middle, and also parrying low. So you do a low kick again, groin, and just kind of checking low like that, okay? So let's switch gears back to where we were at the beginning when we do stepping forward or just staying stationary and block. I want to reiterate the upper, middle, and lower, and then we'll move on from there. So she's gonna come, I can block, this is kind of like middle. And so do the overhand chopping, okay? You don't want to reach, go slow to start, 50% speed at the most, or even less, 30% speed, and just real easy. Have a bend in my arm. Use the bone or the muscle here, okay? Palm is facing you, come again, here. Now in this one, I'm stepping into it, come again, okay? They're coming down, either they're swinging something, an object, or a knife. Knife is a little different situation, but just getting used to that attack coming from above or at an angle. So again, here, and again. So from here, this is like a stationary, you don't want to stay like a statue. From here, you can do things where you just step and move and then grab and parry, and then you got hands and attacks to the face, knees, knee strikes, etc., and sweeps. So again, same thing here, upper block, and then you can also, instead of going outside, you can kind of come inside and come with the jam to the face, and then grab, knee strike, etc., or you can use the same hand that you're blocking with and just kind of slip down and jam into the face, and then you can go in, do all kinds of different things like that. Stepping, groin, ribs, elbow, eyes, hair, control the head. All right, switch sides. Let's do the other side. Just do a couple of them. So you're gonna come with the same thing, but just this side. Boom, here. Other hand is up for keeping your head safe. Maybe keeping the hand up by the ear, so if somebody comes from behind, you don't get choked here. And then again, start to do like a little bit of a counter. So of course, this is a video about dodging and parrying and evasion, but you always want to get a little bit of the extra stuff here, face, and then jam with the hand, grab and come in. Again, one more time, here, and then stepping, use the elbow to push it out of the way, and then grab it with this hand here, and then all kinds of different stuff, hands to the face, just grabbing clothing, coming in with a knee. You can turn and put the forearm behind the elbow or just above the elbow on the tricep, and kind of do a little bit of a hyperextension. And then when I do this, she's going to go down or around. I can throw them like that. I can break the arm, break the elbow, all kinds of fun stuff. So that's the upper. The middle block or middle parry. So let's come with a jab. This is what we started with. That's the middle. You can also, in karate, it's turning and using the forearm or the forearm or the forearm bone here, and coming in here, and then coming to the face. That's more karate, kempo style. And then you can also come from the inside, Miyagi-Do style. So hands open or fists if you're doing depending on what kind of style you're practicing. Don't be so tense in your fist. Be a little bit relaxed but firm. It's the balance. So hand is up, coming punch in here. That's a little bit high, but not too high, but it's right in the kind of middle, this area here, shoulder, chest height, maybe neck. And then from here, you can turn and grab the wrist and then go in and do kind of the different elbows, strikes to the face, right, knife hand to the neck, palm heel to the face, grab, knee, elbow, those kinds of things. Lower block, if she just picks up this front foot and just kind of does a little kick, I'm just gonna drop my hand. You can either open hand, be careful with jamming your fingers, so go real slow. Otherwise have like a closed fist. Well, fist is obviously closed because it's a fist. So therefore it's closed. That's why they call it a fist. So your hand or the forearm here, or the open palm. And of course with the stance you can step back, but if you want to stay stationary, somebody throws up a kick or a knee and you can catch it, lift them up. If they throw another kick, you can go to the outside and then come in with a low kick or, you know, slam, jam into the face. So that's upper, middle, and lower. So it's middle from the outside, it's middle block from the inside, middle block from the outside. Upper block is going to usually be something coming down onto you. And then lower block is either blocking them and pushing them out to the outside or blocking the other way and pushing them to the inside. Pushing them to their inside. So, and then we have defensive, moving backwards in defensive stance with blocking and parrying. And we also have parrying and nagare while moving in a forward triangulation here. We have a few counters. Let's do one more thing. And that's just a couple, multiple blocks and multiple strikes. So let's go that way because we're almost out of the shot. Just gotta get the shot. So 3 punches. Just standing in boxing, just go 1, 2, 3, right to the chin. You want to practice going towards the chin, even if you're not, just when you start, even if you're not gonna actually end up hitting them. When you get in a little bit more, you practice this a little more. Actually go real slow, but then you start to actually go to where you're gonna actually hit the person in the chin. But if it does happen, it's real slow and it's real soft. It's not gonna, remember, keep your jaw clenched. You don't have to bite your teeth so hard, but keep your teeth together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, simple. Go back and forth, do it again. 1, 2, 3. And you're not looking directly at the person or at the punch. You're looking at the shoulders. You're kind of using what we call open focus or peripheral vision. And I'm just, so go ahead and start. Again, don't do it, don't telegraph. Wait till have, you know, the good timing. So that's why we start going slow, so you can build up good timing. So don't move until, I'm kind of doing that for the camera because I'm talking and speaking and trying to teach it. But wait till they actually move and then move. Okay? And start out knowing what you're going to be doing. You don't want to, when you start with beginner, intermediate, make sure you know each partner what they're going to be doing. So let's switch stances, both switch stances. So, yep, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now try same speed, same slowness, but without the hands. Keep the hands up, but just now have them aim right at your chin. So if you don't move, that it's just gonna tap the chin. See that? She actually touched my neck a little bit. It doesn't take much. And then you just start using the hands again. Just practice a little bit of both. Now she's going to come with a jab and then a cross, and then she'll come with a jab, and then on the cross I'm going to triangulate and get close. So here and here, and then I'm going to step and come in and triangulate. Your hand comes up, hand grabs, hand comes up here, hand to the face, or you just come in, you can cinch, get close, you can come in and do a grapple, or you can get into a wrestling. So let's do it one more time. 1, 2, and then you switch and go. Just switch it up, do different things. So you're just gonna block one, and then you're gonna step and triangulate at another one. Let's do a defense stepping back, and then an offensive one. So she throws a punch, I'm gonna step back, and she steps and comes in and throws another punch, but then I step closer and I triangulate the other way. Let's do that one more time. Ooh, what's that? So she throws this front hand here, I step back, and then I come in, and see how she came in fast like that? I didn't expect it. And I just used the elbow to switch it, and I came in. That was good. You trying to do that on purpose?
No.
So here, and then, you know, if they really commit to that punch, they're gonna go by you. They're gonna be off balance. So then you can come here, and then you can come in for a choke, grab their clothes from behind, kick the back of the knee, take them down, grab their face from behind. You got eyes and all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna end it there. Practice these combinations. They can morph into other combinations and morph into other counters. Okay, so that's getting in more advanced and longer videos, but you can just rewind this and keep going. I think that's all. What do you think?
That's good.
Fuck, sweet. Probably take the F word out.
Probably a good idea.
Because YouTube will take it down. We'll see you in the next video.